assist pastors as they work through the local church to fulfill the mission of Christ. In keeping with these purposes, emphasis is placed on proclamation of the word, personal and professional development, leadership and church growth, and support for the families of pastors. Provision is also made for the elders, deacons, and deaconesses who play a critical role in the governance, soul winning, and various ministries of the church. The ministerial secretary is the pastor's pastor, caring for the needs of pastors and their families and representing their interests at the appropriate administrative levels. Our ministerial association has 2 chapters. One chapter consists of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the other of Antigua, Barbuda, and Montserrat. At the end of 2018, the association membership stood at 30. There are 2 administrators, 3 departmental directors, 18 district pastors, 1 chaplain, 2 interns, 2 associate pastors, 1 Bible instructor, and 1 retiree. Continuing education for pastors was a priority, with spiritual convocations conducted by Dr. Roy Adams in 2016 and a Righteousness by Faith seminar conducted by Pastor Cyril Horrell October 2-3, 2017. The South Leeward Mission Ministerial Department, along with the Ministerial Association, plans for annual ministerial retreats. Pastoral families are encouraged to meet together at least once during the week to celebrate the spiritual emphasis together. The ministerial associations plan for the Sabbath session as their time of retreat. Each chapter of the ministerial association has a specific meeting time. Both associations are vibrant, with Dr. Andrew Gardner serving as president of the Antigua Barbuda Montserrat Association and Pastor Carl Hastings serving as president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association. The associations meet monthly as a professional organization to discuss matters relevant to ministry. The ministerial secretary is tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that ministerial spouses associations are active in the field. In the South Leeward Mission, the association has 2 chapters. The Antigua Barbuda Montserrat Association president is Sister Julia Joseph, and the St. Kitts Nevis Association president is Sister Shanique Josiah. Both associations are very active. The South Leeward Mission presently has 2 interns, Pastors Winston Joseph and Lyndon Elliott. 3 interns were active during the period under review. However, in September of 2018, Pastor Otis Brown completed internship and is now an associate pastor on the island of St. Kitts. During the quadrennium, we saw 4 pastors transition to ordination or commissioning at services held in Antigua in December of 2015 and December of 2018. Pastor Theodore Smith of District Number 8 Antigua, Pastor Delroy Josiah of District Number 2 Nevis, and Pastor Shelton Benjamin of District Number 6 Antigua were ordained, while Pastor Melanie Rogers of District Number 11 Antigua was commissioned. The Every Elder Involved initiative is a program of continual education established and implemented by the Inter-American Division of Seventh-day Adventists. The program has 2 components and is largely web-based. One component provides for the continual education and certification of elders. The program stipulates a minimum of 20 hours of training per year for elders, and this training also includes assignments and practicums. The second component is the pastor's continuing education component and also stipulates 20 hours of continuing education for the pastors each year. At the end of the training sessions, pastors and elders are certified only after verification is made of their program completion. In 2018, Associate Ministerial Secretary of the General Conference, Dr. Jonas Arais, along with Ministerial Secretary of the Inter-American Division, Dr. Josny Rodriguez, and Ministerial Secretary of the Caribbean Union Conference, Pastor Amram Williams, joined forces for a massive training session of all elders and pastors in the South Leeward Mission. The training was held on Antigua. I wish to say thanks to God for the privilege of service to this amazing church. Thanks to my wife Shireen and our children Shamar and Shamissa for their prayer, support and forbearance over the last 4 years. I also wish to thank Pastor Charles Heskey for the amazing foundation that he has laid as Ministerial Secretary from the inception of the South Leeward Mission. You have provided a solid framework and structure which makes the work of the Ministerial Secretary structured and focused. I also say thanks to my department secretary, Mrs. Cindy Greenaway, and all the office staff who continually support the efforts of the department. Finally, thanks to the administration of the South Leeward Mission for their support and encouragement during the period.
Okay, that was Ministerial Secretary. And once again, I open the floor for any questions that may arise at this time.
Okay, not only questions, but if there are any comments that you would like to share, this is a good time to do so. I know many of you are not pastors, but even the pastor can say something at this point.
After lunch is a tough time.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, just a word of commendation for ministries concerned under Dr. Brathwaite. In Nevis, we have felt the impact, and we just want to applaud the work being done, and to say also we are very happy for the presence and communication. Both are very pivotal. Many times we get communication, but when it's backed by a person who actually come and minister to us.
Persons are very involved with the technology. Recently, we were exposed to some statistics, and one of the things that caught my attention was the fact that our young people today, when they want to find out about the three angels message, previously before the internet and before Google and YouTube, they would come and ask Brother Bell, or they would come and ask Brother Jaron Brown, or maybe one of us as pastors. Now, they go online, they put it in Google, what is the three angels message, and they see whatever comes up. One of the unfortunate realities, maybe for our church at this point, is that as a church, it is suggested that we do not have enough content online. And so when you go online and type in something like E.G. White, a number of the responses that will come may be negative ones. And so persons sometimes are just tempted to read the very first thing that they see. This has implications for the church in years to come as people seek a way to find their faith. And I think for the region of the South Leeward Conference and the Caribbean Union and further afield, as a church, we need to be more active in making content available online. We need to spend some time recording what we do, documenting what we do, writing, doing videos, doing radio programs, doing a lot more to establish our presence in the world around us. Or else, very soon, we will discover that we may not be where we need to be. Believe that God is still leading this church. And I trust that even in the field of communication and technology, that we will take up the mantle and run with it. I ask that we can play the video at this time. Thanks.
The Department of Communication represents the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the South Leeward Mission to the public media and provides various services to the local church. It seeks to train, support, and guide church communication leaders to effectively manage a positive image with the community and the members of the church. During the quadrennium, the department has seen several gains and has also been faced with challenges which have been surmounted by the grace of God. The South Leeward Mission website was launched in 2012 with a view to providing the constituency of the mission with connectivity and a way to easily access the various resources that the mission, along with the higher organizations of the church, may offer from time to time. The website offers a wide range of services, including information about the administration, directors of the mission. It also provides a calendar of yearly events along with contact information for the mission headquarters, institution pastors, and other church leaders. The website serves as a significant source of information for church departments and offers reporting blanks, training material, messages from the president, and also carries many of the significant programs of the mission live through its streaming capabilities. In 2018, the president of the mission commissioned a revision of the website. The New Look website was launched on February 1, 2019. The New Look South Leeward Mission newsletter was relaunched in January 2016 after a hiatus and has consistently provided news of events every week for the last 3 years. The SLM newsletter has a specific purpose, which is to keep the 5 islands of the mission connected by sharing highlights of the various happenings. Every week, there is a minimum of 3 articles which capture various stories from across the mission and further afield. Several writers around the mission contribute on a weekly basis. A combination of the various platforms suggests that the newsletter reaches well over 1,000 people on a weekly basis. Every year, the Caribbean Union Conference receives video reports from the various fields around the region. The video report usually consists of 3 to 5 minutes report highlighting the various activities around each field. The South Leeward Mission Communication Department has been able to produce quality video reports during the quadrennium. Each report highlighted the president of the mission and covered material from the various departments. Along with the video reports, the Communication Department was also able to produce video clips of Global Youth Day and also general promotional material which highlighted the Seventh-day Adventist message. With limited resources, the department has also been able to carry several programs live online due to the assistance of many committed volunteers around the mission. The recently concluded 130th anniversary of Adventism in Antigua was carried live as the Communications Department partnered with Second Advent Radio, Trevor Shirley, Eugene Benjamin, Leon Ford, Doshian Thomas, Digicel, Flo, Gordon Greenaway, the St. John's Communication Department, and also utilized the photography services of Joseph Jones, Vaughn Joseph, Mario Pinder, and Travis Harris. In Nevis, we benefited from the services of Irvin Pinney Jr. and his team, and in St. Kitts, the services of Sylvester Dorr, Melvin Maynard, and their teams. The South Leeward Mission Communication Department continues to lean on the support of these significant volunteers and service providers to proclaim the message of the gospel to every corner of the mission's territory. During the quadrennium, communication training was accomplished by weekend sessions during the South Leeward Mission's constituency meetings, which were generally held at the beginning of each year. St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat benefited from training which covered the responsibilities of the communication secretary and several other critical areas. During the period under review, Antigua also benefited from a 3-day event June 2nd to the 4th, 2017, which brought communication directors from the various churches within the South Leeward Mission together in one setting to share the challenges that they encounter, as well as to learn new and innovative ways that technology can be used for the furtherance of the gospel. The Caribbean Union Communication Department also held a training for communication directors during the quadrennium. The communication directors of the 10 fields of the Caribbean Union and also other representatives attended the workshop, which was held January 18 and 19, 2017 at the University of Southern Caribbean. The Society of Adventist Communicators is an organization for the professional development, continuing education, recognition, networking, and the nurturing of Christians with careers in communication. The South Leeward Mission, through its director, attended this event on behalf of the Caribbean Union. The vision of the department is to have state-of-the-art studios and equipment which will assist in proclaiming the good news across the territory and further afield. We say special thanks to all our pastors and laypersons who have contributed to the stories and have made the newsletter viable and exciting. Thanks to Second Advent Radio, who has worked tirelessly to ensure that the message is proclaimed. Thanks to the many volunteers across the islands who have used their equipment and skills to ensure that the wider community has the privilege of benefiting from our services. Finally, I wish to say thanks to my wife Shireen and our children Shimar and Shalissa for their prayers, support, and forbearance over the last 4 years. I also say thank you to Mrs. Cindy Greenaway, Mrs. Sydney David, and Mr. George Long for their services to communications, IT, our web presence, and the maintenance of the South Leeward Mission network structure.
Okay, that's the final presentation from me. We want to just continue to say thanks for all of your support over the years. Are there any questions or comments at this time?
Okay, the mic will be coming across.
Good afternoon. I'd like to, at this time, commend the communication department for what has been happening over the quadrennium, and also to the entire
Well, the way that the nominating committee is going, we should be finished before 4, maybe. At least we'll try, we'll try. Okay, we go back to work.
Okay, yes, we're going to continue. So we'll ask Dr. Brathwaite to return. I think there are a couple more questions or comments. And just to respond to Sister Riley, the intention is to have all of it on the website.
So we're going to run the report for community services first, and then we will take ADRA, and I will make a brief comment on special needs afterwards. Before I run the report, however, I'm delighted that present at this session today, we have two of our Community Services Federation leaders, one from Nevis, who is a delegate, Sister Parry. Is Tasha around? Tasha, you? Okay, she's okay. And the Federation leader from St. Kitts, who is Sister Archibald. I'm just going to ask her to stand. These leaders do tremendous work on behalf of community services in the island. Give her a round of applause, please. Give her a round of applause. Antigua has just completed elections, and our Sister Shelby Nicholas, who was our previous Federation president, has been replaced by Brother Ian Parker from Jennings. These leaders do tremendous work in keeping the face of the church before the community. Unless you are not aware, let me just remind you that when Jesus was about to begin his ministry, he picked up the scroll and turned to Isaiah 61 and essentially declared that he has come to do community services. And today, the nation can see that fulfillment in him. If you are not in community services, you might very well not be doing Jesus' ministry. Let's have the video clip, please. Thank you very much.
Community services is the life and the well in the islands that constitute the South-Leeward mission. We continue the development and motivation of the community services ministry and leaders to be agents for change in their community. It was our determined effort to build the skill set of our community services leaders and members so that the impact they have on their community can have a transformational effect. We are pleased to report that during the last quadrennial within our island territories, all of our districts have had very active community services departments. It was important for us to continue to provide more guidance and structure to this community outreach ministry. There were different perspectives and emphasis that were being placed by several congregations. It was therefore important for us to give clarity to what constitutes community services for South-Leeward mission. We sought to keep our leaders and members focused on our theme, motto, mission, and mission statement. The theme, transform your community, touch one life. The motto, changing lives begin with you. Our mission, to serve our communities in Christ's name. Mission statement, the South-Leeward Mission Adventist Community Services, SLC, exists to build up the kingdom of God by showing sympathy to the needy in our community, meeting their needs and winning their confidence in Christ's name. Each island possesses very passionate and creative leaders. I commend the St. Kitts ACS Federation for actively and consistently pursuing outreach activities in the schools and hospitals on the islands. They have built up very good rapport with these national institutions. The Antigua Federation was able to host National Community Services in Inaugural. We are committed to continue to provide training in these areas to ensure the delivery of competent ministry. Community development, it provides relief, educational, and development services. Training in these areas to ensure the delivery of a competent ministry. Community development, it provides relief, education, participates in disaster preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation. Yes, youth empowered to serve. Encourages youth to begin a life of serving others. Elderly care provides education and services for seniors. Community Services joined hands with personal ministries to ensure that our Harvest in Gathering campaigns were successful. As a result, from 2015 to 2018, over $1.4 million were collected to help satisfy the needs of the communities around us. The highlight for the period under review was the first ever South Leeward Mission Community Services Convention held in St. Kitts August 3 and 6, 2018. We converged on the Royal St. Kitts Hotel for an event geared to motivate, challenge, and inspire ACS leaders and to celebrate the impact their ministry has been having on communities all across the South Leeward Mission territory. We were thankful for the presence of the Caribbean Union Adventist Community Services Director, Pastor Ashton O'Neill, who delivered a very moving and powerful message, the eyesight of Jesus. During this quadrennial period, the mission was hit by Hurricane Irma. We saw the ACS leaders and members respond to those affected. ACS members helped to pack and repack items for Barbuda and Dominica respectively. Federation leaders and ACS members could be seen sorting items to be delivered to those in need. When assistance was received from overseas, it was community services that ensured they were sorted and distributed. We give thanks to Almighty God for all of His mercies during this quadrennial. We live in an area prone to natural and man-made emergencies, and He has protected us. Even when unfortunately we are affected, He provides for us to ensure that we are taken care of. We thank also our social partners, governments, businesses, and individuals who continue to contribute to the work we do in ACS. Thanks to our churches, our pastors, who continue to support this ministry in the local congregations. Many thanks to ACS leaders and members all across the conference for your unselfish service and dedication. Let us continue to serve our community in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the soon coming King.
Okay, we want to thank Pastor for that excellent presentation. Give him another round of applause. If there are any questions or comments, we will take them at this time for Pastor Joseph. Well, Pastor, looks like there's none. So you can proceed to the second presentation.
Okay, we will proceed to the video on ADRA.
ADRA is a professional, learning, and efficient network that embodies integrity and transparency. ADRA reaches across boundaries and speaking out for the at-risk and forgotten to achieve measurable, documented, and durable changes in lives and society. ADRA works with people in poverty and distress to create just and positive change through empowering partnerships and responsible action. ADRA South Leeward mission is committed to changing the lives of people who are at risk and create an environment for personal growth and community development. ADRA
Okay, they're gonna resolve that. Essentially, the report for ADRA focus on okay. Essentially, the report for ADRA focus on our response to. But as soon as you have it, just run it, and I'll just sit down while it's running. But it focused on our response to the hurricane that affected Dominica in 2016, and primarily our response to the hurricane that affected Barbuda, Dominica again, and the Virgin Islands, the North Caribbean Conference in 2017. It shows the capacity of ADRA to respond in times of disaster. The report also draws attention to the fact that within ADRA South Leeward mission, we are doing our endeavor best to build our capacity to develop, to write, prepare grants, and to be able to manage grants. And in speaking of that, I just want to extend my thanks to Director Alexander Isaac from the Caribbean Union. Last year, he arranged for us to be in, the ADRA directors from the union, to be in a grant writing seminar, I think which was very successful for us as directors.
Learning and efficient network that embodies integrity and transparency.
If you can pull it midway and see if it runs from that.
Speaking out for the at-risk and forgotten to achieve measurable, documented, and durable changes.
Okay, essentially, that's what it is. Oh, you're taking it, okay. Okay, try to run it from there, right there, that position, and see what it's beautiful. Okay, if that's your last attempt, we will live with that and at the end. The end has come. Here in South Leeward, we have, over the last year or so, tried to move beyond. I think while Pastor Dr. Knowles was director of ADRA, he did a tremendous work in terms of building up ADRA, making sure that within each of the territories, we were able to have a body that looks after ADRA and looks after the ministry that ADRA carries forward. Since coming to office, we have been able to buttress those committees. We have bumped up the committee here in Antigua to a level that we feel comfortable with. We are working to ensure that with Caribbean Union and ADRA International, we are able to register ADRA within our territories as an official NGO. And beyond that point, our short-term goal is to impress upon the Caribbean Union to ensure that we establish an ADRA country office in South Leeward Mission. I want to thank the ADRA coordinators on the various islands, Pastor K. White in St. Kitts, Pastor Stanton Adams in Nevis, Pastor Sherwin White in Montserrat, for the work that they've been doing in organizing the team. Recently, Pastor Adams was able to work with the Nevis Island administration to ensure that with the Caribbean Union, a contingent of individuals could come over from Loma Linda University to do some seminars, workshop, psychosocial training in Nevis for the Nevis Island administration. And so we applaud those individuals who over the years have given their time, their effort. Community Services, ADRA, they're primarily volunteer organizations, and as such, individuals who get involved sacrifice their time, their effort, their resources in order to make things happen for these departments, and I applaud them greatly. Before I close, I want to thank Pastor Knowles, Dr. Knowles, our new Executive Secretary, for the work that he did both in Sabbath School, Community Services, and ADRA. And he has left a legacy. Give him a round of applause, please. He has left a legacy that I ensured would remain intact, Elder, so that the new director can continue to build on that going forward to the honor and glory of God. I just want to, at the end of my presentation, just thank the administration, the executive committee, and the constituency for the opportunity that I've had to serve over these past few months. I really did appreciate it, really did enjoy it, and as we go on, may these departments, Sabbath School, Community Services, ADRA, and Special Needs, move on from strength to strength. We have not done much, I must confess, in special needs. It is what I refer to the folks who work with me in special needs here locally don't like when I say this, but it is an emerging department, at least in South Leeward Mission, and we're endeavoring to do our best. We were able to challenge the Executive Committee this year to make sure that within South Leeward Mission, Special Needs Day become a fixture on the calendar for this conference. And so going forward, for us it will be the second to last Sabbath in April, because the last Sabbath, which is officially Special Needs Sabbath, is Education Sabbath in our mission. So we'll utilize the Sabbath before. And again, I want to thank Pastor Knowles for his leadership in that regard. I want to thank Sister Collins here in Antigua, and Brother Collis and Ronald Greenaway. I want to thank Bernadine Collins in Montserrat for their leadership, and Sylvester Dorr in St. Kitts for their leadership in the Special Needs Ministry. Thank you very much, and may God continue to be with the South Leeward Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and may continue to move on from strength to strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Joseph. Let's give him another round of applause. Okay, any questions from the floor? I think we have Pastor Francis from the East Caribbean Conference.
I'm not going to ask a question. I just want to make a comment in regards to ADRA. I think it would be amiss of me to be here and not to express our appreciation, gratitude, and thankfulness to the South Leeward Conference, formerly Mission, who came to our assistance in Dominica during Erica and Maria. On both occasions, the first occasion you were quite specific in what your gift should be, what should be done with your gift, and that was very well appreciated. A number of parents and students were assisted as they got their vouchers for educational materials. And so we want to express our gratitude to the conference for the work that is done in helping to rebuild Dominica. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Okay, and it's always good when your mind, because part of the report was a salute to 7 individuals who were the core members who responded to Dominica, and who have had the opportunity also to respond to in St. Kitts and Nevis, and also in Barbuda. And if you just permit me to list their names, I think Pastor Elder Anthony Nicholas is here this afternoon. I'm just going to ask him to stand. He has been the leader for that team that they have dubbed the Magnificent Seven.
Yes.
He along with Samuel Greenaway, Dale Clark, Vernal Isidore, Bradley Knowles, Morris, Dale Clark, yes, and Lukey Morris, and also Brother Clark, Joseph Clark from Nevis. We want to just give them a round of applause. They're not all present. They're not all present, but I challenge the new treasurer because I did not promise them, but I was planning with them to give them an event that recognized their sacrifice and contribution for ADRA. So now the new treasurer knows, and the new director will certainly follow through on that. So let's give them a round of applause again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Don't go yet, Pastor. Those are just 2 comments so far. I just want to join in commending Brother Nicholas and the team. They traveled several times to Dominica, Pastor Francis, and they were asked to return, and they gave sacrificially, without pay, and maybe not enough thank yous have been said, and we just want to publicly register on behalf of the new administration of the South Leeward Conference to say thank you very much, and may God continue to bless you and your families. Okay, we are very privileged to have Pastor Telemak here, who is not only Sabbath School Director of our division, but he's also responsible for special needs, and we're very happy that he is able to give some comments and whatever else is on his mind in response to Pastor Joseph's report.
And I want to commend Pastor Joseph and also commend this conference for its strong emphasis on the social ministries. In Inter-American Division, we have 3 important initiatives: evangelism, education, and for the first time in the history of the division, a focus on community services. Because our new president, he believes in reality. He believes that we ought to be on the ground, touching the lives of people and transforming their lives. And so I want to thank this conference for its strong emphasis on community services, and especially the Nehemiah Skill Association. This is something that emerged from the East Caribbean Conference and is all over the Inter-American Division now, where skilled persons are participating in reconstructing, renovating houses and what have you. I think this is fantastic. I also want to say to you, the special needs ministry is an important ministry. The church needs to become an all-inclusive church. We must not marginalize or ignore or exclude anybody from the services and the ministries of the church. So the blind, the deaf, the persons who are in wheelchairs and what have you, with different disabilities need to be included, need to be involved in the life of the church. This is very important. Why? Because those persons are saved the same way we'll be saved. Amen? They have spiritual gifts the same way we have spiritual gifts. And in fact, the Inter-American Division is hosting its first Special Needs Congress in Tabasco, Mexico, June the 26th to the 30th for all persons with disabilities from our Inter-American Division. And I do not know, the Caribbean has 4 delegates, but because I see that you have a passion for the ministry here and it's emerging in your new conference, if you would like to send 1 delegate, I would support you in 1 delegate to that Congress. It's the first ever in the history of Inter-American Division. I'd provide you with free accommodation, food, ground transportation, and you would provide the rest. But I really want to see this ministry become a priority in this conference and in the Caribbean Union. It's an important ministry, believers. Let's make our church all-inclusive so that everybody feels part of the table and they can enjoy the salvation in Christ. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. All in favor that we accept that offer? Just show by raising your right hand. Pastor, look around. There's no turning back now. So thank you, and we will go forward. Next. Yes, Pastor. That's understood. That's understood. That we will look at it to vote it, and we're happy for the invitation. Okay, again, we want to thank Pastor Joseph for the various ministries that he has carried, and he has carried them with pastoral responsibilities as well. He is the senior pastor of the St. John Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Antigua, and we just want to thank him for the good work that he has done over the year and a half. So give him one final round of applause for this occasion. Okay, our next report. Can we stand, please? I think you've been sitting. Some of you start to look a little sleepy. So please stand, please stand. 3:30 now? Okay, so we'll take a 5-minute break, just walk around, get some water, and we will return at 3:48. 3:48, just take a quick walk around. We will have Pastor Van der Horst for our next report after the break. Oh, yes, come. Okay, good stuff. Okay, I have to check with Dr. Come after. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to reconvene at this time, so let's get those on the outside. We're going to sing a song. I'm looking for a chorister. Sister David, are you volunteering? Okay. Pastor Brown, can you assist us with a song, please? Just to get us back together. Oh, I forgot there were two Pastor Browns, yes. No. He knows.
Happiness is to know the Savior living a life
within His favor.
Happiness in my behavior. Happiness
is the Lord.
One more time. Oh, happiness is to know the Savior living a life within His favor. Having a change in my behavior. Happiness is the Lord. Well, joy is mine. No matter what it does, I've found the secret. There's Jesus in my heart. Happiness is
to know the living life.
That's what the living taking a trip that leads to heaven. Happiness is the Lord. Happiness is the Lord. Happiness is the Lord. Oh, that one's from way back.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we have fair representation. And we will now have our Spanish coordinator. For those who are not familiar, especially our guests from other fields, we do have Spanish congregations on a few of our islands, and we're very happy to have a Spanish coordinator for the work here in South Leeward Mission, and he's none other than the very handsome, he said he's the most handsome gentleman in South Leeward Mission. Give him a round of applause, Pastor Miguel van der Horst.
Joe, just want to correct something, Pastor. It's not something that I say. It is confirmed already. It's what I am. It's what I am. It's what I am. My congratulations to each of you and to the pastoral team of South Leeward Conference.
Hey, Pastor, just wait a second. Let's get settled. There are too many persons moving back and forth. We want to give Pastor van der Horst the undivided attention as every other director or administrator had. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Pastor. So, I was just expressing my gratitude to the pastoral team, one of the most professional teams that I've ever met, that I've ever chaired, people that are really professional. Sister Hamming, you are leaving an empty space in my heart because you are leaving Earth Ministry. I love that lady. She's very lovely, huh? Very lovely. Well, today, my presentation won't be like Pastor Joseph. Mine going to be on leave. So I don't want to do any presentation recorded. I want to be personal, telling you about the Spanish work and the Spanish congregation. So if my wife used to say compliments to me, I do have to take compliments about the Spanish work. So she is in love with this man. In fact, her father is just right here because he's celebrating his 90s. And he is the man that introduced me in ministry. He was looking for a handsome, a vigorous man for marrying his daughter. And he said, the only one I can find is Miguel. Let me prepare him for doing the job of the Lord and be working in the vine of the Lord. So today, this man is celebrating his 90 years old. And there is something. One day I do remember that I mentioned that man when we were at Gilbert. And we were trying to make a recount of his experience as a laity. He's been a laity for more than 60 years, straight 60 years. And he has won for very close to 3,000 souls in his whole ministry. So this man over there, Felix Martinez, is the one that has also opened about 14 new congregations in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Some of those congregations had became like main district churches. And I do remember that I was leading 2 of them when I was moved to my last district in Santo Domingo. So he have done a very great work raising me in order to maintain in good condition his daughter. Well, I want to show you something different than others. What you see in the screen is something that is not common among the pastoral team, but it's something that my wife and I are planning to do. But what we are doing now is just doing the same, but in the Spanish congregations. So we are accepting challenges. We are accepting challenges, and it's very challenging to lead, to supervise, to coordinate Spanish people. You know why? Because they are immigrants, and it's very, very, very difficult to deal with people. You do have a group of them today, and then they are gone tomorrow. So it's very difficult, but it's something really exciting, and I'm going to show you something just right now about the Spanish work. So the Spanish work, I'm going to start with evangelism. It was last year in Montserrat. So we were conducting a crusade in Montserrat, and Montserrat Church was fully packed. Fully packed, my brother. It was the first time after the opening that it was fully packed. And I want to extend my congratulations in this regard to Sister Riley. I guess she's here. Sister Riley. Yeah. Brother Grave. He's on. And Brother James. Brother James, I do want to maybe to take some blood from your body and be injected in other people. Because Brother James assigned us a vehicle in order to be riding around Montserrat, visiting people, meeting people, and doing our stuff. So people responded to the call. This year we are going back again next month on June. And my honor, congratulations, and a special appreciation to Pastor Jerwin White. Pastor White, thank you very much. You know that you were the last pastor that I was planning to love, and now he became the first. Yeah, he's a very nice guy. There were some misunderstanding between him and me, but it was good because now we know better each other. And now he loves me more than any other pastor across the Leeward Island. That is good, huh? That is good. So, Montserrat has been well fed regarding to evangelism and to the assistance from the English community. So it was in St. Kitts. You know, the St. Kitts has a smaller building. We are still renting in St. Kitts. But we've been conducting crusades across the Spanish congregation since 2015. So it was a challenge that was given to me I felt that it was a burden, but finally I discovered that it was a challenge from Pastor Desmond James, who threatened the current administration: if you do not support the Spanish pastor, you won't be administrator again. It was the reason because they were re-elected. So it was very good. And then in Antigua, we've been conducting crusades over and over. And we've been having baptism. Last year, I do remember that we had a baptism of 14 souls were baptized. And in this last one, this year, we baptized 8. And now we are planning to baptize some more. Because this man over there, he's working with 2 new small groups. And he's been doing Bible studies. There's a lady from church that says, I do not know where this man's energy is coming from. Because this man is already active. He wants to go over there to do Bible study. He wants to do over there to visit people. He wants to go over there to make people to decide for Jesus. Oh, but he doesn't rest. What's happening to him? Because Spanish people in this area are not used to be very active in evangelism. But it's something that we are recently inheriting or adequating to. So Antigua is being very effective doing evangelism in the last year. So we've been having, as a fruit of our crusade, we've been having baptism. You can check on the report on your tablet, and then you're going to figure out how far we've been going regarding to the Spanish work according to statistics and information in numbers and in percentage. So we also have women's ministry that is very active in the Spanish congregation. So women's ministry has been doing their programs. And my mother came down to this island, and when she met Spanish speakers, English congregation, when she was sharing in a program that was conducted by Pastor Brathwaite, she said, hey, I'd rather live in Antigua instead Santo Domingo because here is more exciting than over there. So then my mother, she said that she'd rather come to Antigua because she likes the spirit of Antiguans, and Antiguan ladies are awesome. So youth ministry, we've been doing some work in youth ministry too. So we already started our clubs. We do have Pathfinder, and we also have Adventurer. And my congratulations and my appreciation to Pastor Knowles. And there is a lady from Tyndale Church, because Tyndale Church is our mother church. We can never be disconnected from Tyndale. So in Tyndale, we've been assisted regarding to the clubs and to the Pathfinder and so on. And in this regard, I want to extend my congratulations to Pastor Alfred, because he's been very active extending this kind of support to the Spanish congregation. And we also, now, I'm retaking a program that we started in 2016, but it was stopped for a while due to some, assuming some other responsibilities, is the new generation. It's a program that we want to call like adolescent, youth, in order to come and become part of our church despite they are not baptized yet. So we want to call those adolescents and that are part of the Spanish community in order to come to our church, to know what our church is. And I figured out about something. Parents are sending their kids to church by mistake. You know what? Well, let me tell you what I mean by mistake. In the sense that they do want to punish their children, they say to them, I'm going to send you to the church, to the Adventist church, because they do want to get rid of their children for a while, and the best way to get rid of them is sending them to the Adventist church, to the Adventist congregation. Brother, we are in trouble. Those kids used to run around the church to make noise whatsoever they do. But I've ever advertised elders, deacons, not to even touch one of those kids, because those that are running at church today are going to be leading tomorrow. So we do have this new generation that's going to start on July again. So late July, we are going to start with this program. We are going to meet adolescents and children, because the Spanish community need that their children be well assisted religiously. And something else is the children ministry. Well, I'm going to give you an information. This year, when we were doing the gathering, the children collected about 90% more than the adults. They collected about $7,000 just from the Spanish congregation, and it was done through the children's ministry. And we also started the children's church. You know that children sometimes does not feel comfortable when they are listening adult. They need to be with their peers. They need to be understood in their environment. They need a new environment. So we do have a church that is running. They only are going up in order to join us once a month. So one day they are going to conduct the program. They will have the preaching service, the Bible school, the Sabbath school lesson, and all of this stuff that could be for the good of their development. So in this sense, you can see that this guy over there, the one with the white shirt, this is the Spanish pastor being in an improvised salon by kids, ladies that are making my hair look brighter. So those young kids, they need like a person that loves them aside of their parents. They need person, and they need to look the pastor like the one that take care of them, like a person that is approachable, that a person that could share with them, not only that they see from the podium preaching. And this is the way of ministry that we do want to develop among the Spanish children. And we also have, projects that we do want to develop are the radio program is one of the projects that we do want to develop this year. Since Pastor Desmond was leading the South Leeward Mission, he commanded me to start a radio program. So, Pastor, this year it could be true. So the team is ready working. We are collecting material in order to cover all the areas: children's, adult, women, and so on. And also, we are going to continue training our people. This guy that you are watching on the screen is Pastor Orville Joseph. And he feels very proud because he's the second hands-on man in the South Leeward Conference. And he was the one that has been doing some training on behalf of the Spanish congregation for our good, and it's been very well accepted. So during the course of the year, we'll be receiving more training because we need to train our people in order to improve their ministry. And something else that we are going to do is to start a Sunday program. It's a Sunday morning program that it is called Spirituality and Health. When I came down here to Antigua, I was not so fat as I really am. But I'm understanding that I do have to lose some weight. So I'm going to apply this program to my own, and I'm going to work for others. So in the morning, we are going to gather about 6 a.m. to 7:30 or to 7, and we are going to have some routines of exercises, and we are going to church a devotional for people of the Spanish community and for the church itself. And something else that we are going to do is to renew the approach to the small groups. It's very difficult to make a small group prosper in this environment. It's very hard, but we cannot leave it behind. We do have to retake small groups. And the church elder is here. What we are planning to develop at the Spanish congregation is that there are many people from the Spanish community that enjoy playing volleyball. And then we purchase volleyball balls, the net, and all of those stuff, and we are going to enlighten the church yard, and we are going to have 4 teams. 4 teams that are going to be mixed with people from the community. And we are going to have the groups working with them, and the group sharing with them, entertaining in the group, and having fun with the same group. So we do have to redefine and to improve the group. So if it doesn't work in this way, you do have to look all the way where it can work. And then finally, I would like to equip the church leaders with a tablet and to train about 40 Spanish leaders for them to improve their preaching, for them to improve their Bible knowledge, for them to be very well equipped with Bible dictionaries, books in electronic books, and so on, and the electronic library that we do have from IAD in order for them to be well equipped and to let them to develop a better ministry from now on. So I would like to speak you more about the Spanish congregation, but I guess that it is the best that you must know till today, because we are celebrating our new conference and our new leaders. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor. We will now take any questions or comments from the floor. All right. Yes. You have a question as well?
Pastor, I feel your drive, and I think that Nevis needs someone like you to come and to help in that department. I am a teacher, and there are lots of Spanish students in my class.
pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I want to thank Pastor Van der Horst for telling more of the truth this afternoon. He once told me that I'm his best friend. I'm the best pastor in South Lord Mission, but this afternoon I heard differently. I would also want to commend Pastor Van der Horst. I think he's doing a wonderful job in regards to youth ministries in his congregation. So Pastor Van der Horst, thank you so kindly on behalf of the young people within the South Leeward Mission. I rise at this point in time to bring to us the Publishing Ministries report. We just celebrated in Antigua 130 years of Adventism, and we acknowledge then that the ministry, the message came to Antigua through the Publishing Ministry, and we want to recognize that it's still alive and it's growing and it is trying to grow as well. I would want to, at this moment, acknowledge all our literature evangelists who are here. I know we have Anthony Nicholas. Is he still here? We have, just stand. Okay, all of our literature evangelists, just kindly stand. We have as a guest, Sister Juliet Shepherd, who represents the club as the president. Kindly be seated. Today, we will have a presentation via video.
Publishing Ministries. Someone once asked, is the literature evangelist in the publishing ministry relevant? We answer this question with an absolutely yes. The Pen of Inspiration emphasizes that as long as probation continues, there will be opportunity for the canvassing work. Testimonies, Volume 6, page 478. In spite of the economic challenges that have retarded our progress in the South Leeward mission, we did not allow our situation to hinder our vision to fulfill our mission. Our brave and tenacious literature evangelists accepted the challenges and recommitted their lives to the development of the publishing ministries while preparing the people of the South Leeward mission for the soon coming of Christ. The landscape of the territories of the South Leeward mission was impacted by the feats of the anointed literature evangelists. Their primary focus was not about money, but ministry. They were busy working along in tent crusades, displaying literature at youth weeks, education fairs, visiting the sick in the hospitals and senior citizens' homes, giving out free literature in the public schools and to hurricane victims in shelters, holding Bible studies, and preparing prospects for baptism. Reports indicate that during the period under review, literature evangelists distributed 4,705 pieces of free literature. They visited 8,560 homes. They offered 3,203 prayers, and they conducted 456 Bible studies and took part in ministry that resulted in over 76 baptisms. Through our Adventist Book Day Drive, Ministry Book of the Year, Book of the Month initiatives, and other local programs, over 90,000 pieces of literature have been distributed with an estimated value of over 100,000 EC dollars. The 21st century demands that our men and women on the front line of ministry stay current and abreast with the changing times and cultures. With this in mind, the Executive Committee sponsored 5 literature evangelists to attend the Caribbean Union Conference Institute in Trinidad and Grenada. In 2018, the mission hosted its own institute conducted by Mrs. Judith Smith, Publishing Ministries Director of the Caribbean Union Conference, and Pastor Roosevelt Haynes, Publishing Ministries and Stewardship Director of the Eastern Caribbean Conference. To God be the glory for the resounding success in these endeavors. Recruiting new foot soldiers has been one of the most challenging aspects of the publishing ministries. Certainly, the call to the literature evangelist ministry is the responsibility of the Holy Spirit. We celebrate today a workforce of 6 full-time and 3 part-time literature evangelists. In 2017, two literature evangelists, Mr. Anthony Nichols and Ms. Aideen Matthias, were transferred to St. Kitts and Nevis for 6 months to spread the gospel through the printed pages and to recruit new soldiers who will serve as homegrown literature evangelists. While there, these two giants worked in crusades, they knocked on doors, prayed with hundreds, and placed invaluable pieces of literature in many homes, schools, and businesses. We are hoping that the seed sown will one day reap a rich harvest of workers into the vineyard of the publishing work in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. In Antigua, the Antigua Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School saw the birth of the Student Literature Evangelist Program. To date, we have 5 students as members and 2 teachers who are active part-time canvassers. With ongoing recruitment and training, we hope that many more students will sign up and be a part of the 2019 summer campaign. During the period under review, the South Leeward Mission hosted 9 literature evangelists with the purpose to assist students from the University of the Southern Caribbean in financing their studies while ministering on the field. We are proud to share that 4 scholarships were issued to students of the university. As we say goodbye to the South Leeward Mission and welcome to the South Leeward Conference, the team of dedicated foot soldiers will continue to demonstrate their appreciation to the Savior of humanity through practical service to those who have not yet responded to the awesome plan of salvation. We will not stop until the last person is prayed with and the last piece of literature is given, for the Master's business demands that we move with a heightened sense of urgency.
Okay, I think, I'm not too sure if you heard all that was said because of the music in the background. It was a little challenging. Okay, I can probably highlight just for a minute or so what you should have heard. One, in terms of the emphasis in the presentation, we highlighted the student canvassing program. That is a partnership between the mission and the University of the Southern Caribbean. And we had, during the past quadrennium, over 9 students coming to our shores. And we want to congratulate those who would have served and the mission for the scholarships given. You would have heard that we gave 4 scholarships to students who came to our shores from the University of the Southern Caribbean. And we have one of the most successful student evangelists right here with us in the form of Pastor Scarborough. Could you kindly stand? He's very, very successful. Everywhere he goes, he grows for Jesus Christ. So we want to thank you. And we want to thank our literary evangelists. We have about 5 of them in Antigua, and they continue to do what is called a difficult task within the church in terms of ministries. There once was a time when the Literary Evangelist Club was vibrant and was energetic and was going, and many persons were part of that. Within the most recent years, we've seen a decline, but we want to thank all those who are still part of it. Put your hands together for our dynamic men and women who continue to serve here in Antigua and on the island of Montserrat, and for those who have interest in St. Kitts and in Nevis. At the end of last quadrennium, we would have made a transition as we as I took over the bookstore. As a result, there isn't a report on what was sold by the ABC because it's no longer under the South Leeward Mission. It is managed by IADPA. But one of the things I want to say is that in spite of the separation, we have a wonderful, wonderful working relationship. And I really want to thank the manager, Desiree Doyle, for having allowed the South Leeward Mission to be blessed with so many courtesies and blessings as a result of, God being in your heart. And based on the new policy that governs the bookstores and the publishing ministry, it says that 85% of the profits made by the bookstores would come to the local field. And I want to say that South Leeward Mission, received 85% of the profit for one of the years. And I really want to thank Apple Bookstore for having delivered on their promises. I think I should have told you that. There's another policy change that took place in 2013-14-15, which is the higher organization looked at the publishing work. We know that the publishing work based on Sister White is second to none, and the Bible, as Sister White tells us, that it would be what would finish the gospel. The higher organization looked at what the canvassers put in and have made policy changes. So today, all of the benefits that the pastors would receive have been extended to a call porter who is qualified. So, for example, a pastor would receive education assistance, travel, vacation, did I say education assistance? And or evangelists or call porters, once they're qualified, they would also receive that, just mean a different percentage. And I really want to thank the higher organization for the way it's thinking about the work and for those major changes on behalf of the literary evangelists. So put your hands again for the higher organization. The challenge is that only one of our canvassers benefited over the years, which is Shrita Crandon in Montserrat, and I really want to commend her. She's a lone canvasser there, and she's doing a wonderful job, and I really want to thank the community for hosting her, and I want to thank her for the wonderful work she's doing. Here in Antigua, our call porters have not benefited because of not meeting the requirements. There is a challenge with the policy that needs to be addressed, and it has to do with I would say at this point in time, the executive committee continuing to adjust the policy as to how it relates to the labor laws, because the labor laws in Antigua do not facilitate or do not concur that a literary evangelist, reporting at a particular time, turning reports is a self. Do I need to repeat? Okay, currently our call porters, they are considered as to be self-employed. But the department would require them to turn in reports, to go out and serve a number of hours, and do a number of things as a regular pastor would. We turn in reports, we have hours to do and so forth. And the labor laws in Antigua is saying once you do that, then that person cannot be self-employed. That person obviously is employed by whosoever make that request of them. And so we as a mission need to look at the policy in relation to our call porters and the labor laws of Antigua and make the best decisions so that according to the policy they can become full-time workers once they meet the requirements. So that's a change that's an area the mission would have, the conference now would have to seek to adjust as we seek the best for our literary evangelists. I want to say thank you very much for your partnership over the years and for your contribution towards the publishing ministry. Before I leave, I have one request of you. Just a few months ago, I lost my best friend to cancer. And
prior that, I would have lost a number of relatives and friends and congregants through many terminal ill diseases or such like. And within the last month or so, I would have read over and over the mandate given to Christ in Matthew and in Mark. The Bible says that these signs shall follow those who believe. And I've asked my children and my wife to pray that God would give me the gift of healing. I've also asked the prayer groups to do that. I know it's a strange asking at this point in time, but I believe that we have men and women here who are leaders of the church and who are prayer warriors. And I do not know what is God's will for the rest of my life, but I'm asking God to give me the gift of healing. And I'm asking you to kindly join with me in praying for it. And I'm fully open. Whatever God's will is God's will. But I really want that gift. So please help me pray for that gift. May God's blessings be with us as we continue to wait on His second coming. I remind us this morning what matters most today at this point in time. It is not really that we've become a conference, but that if Christ were to come now, all of us would be saved. Please give me the privilege to ask you, if Christ were to come now, would you be saved? I pray that with the sacrifice of Christ, we'll all answer in the affirmative. Yes, I'll be saved. May God's blessing be with you.
Okay, put your hands together for Pastor Kendall Walston Doyle for presenting the publishing ministry. I notice he's already going to his seat, but the privilege is yours to ask him any question that you deem necessary in relation to publishing ministry, and also to give any commendation, advice, as the case may be. Danny, I'm seeing Elder Scarborough.
Yes, firstly, I would like to commend Pastor Doyle and the team for even seeing the value in trying to augment the package. I am